college football preview show with the Roll Up Network. I am Silk, and I'm kicking it with two legends, Ahmad Richards, Kenny Shaw. What it do, my dudes?
What's going on?
What's
What's
good?
going
It's
Go
week.
nose.
Go nose. It's week one, fellas. What's up with it? Y'all ready? Y'all good?
Tailgate calling, them winds calling,
I don't know, bro. Miami, Ohio say they got a surprise for y'all, bro. Y'all talking grease, but Miami, Ohio say they got y'all on upset alert.
Yeah, I forgot. He got to scrap up and walk through, what I'm saying, hard rock. It ain't easy.
It ain't easy. It ain't easy, man. It's a Friday night. We'll get into the matchups in a little bit. We got quite the show. Make sure y'all hit like and subscribe. Everybody that's hanging out with us, hit like, subscribe. It helps us with the algorithms and whatnot. But we got a full-fledged show. Ahmad Black, the legend from the University of Florida, is going to come hang out with us, and we're going to talk some Swamp Kings early in the show. And then we got a beat writer from all three programs, Miami, Ohio, Utah, and also LSU that's going to come on and break down the X and O's and preview these games a little bit. Before we get into the nuances of these games, fellas, and you guys are former players, so I know you haven't been in fan mode for as long as I have been in fan mode. But what are you guys' game day rituals?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, I got to get me a good breakfast. That's before you get to tailgating anything, you got to get a good breakfast in. And like you said, I'm not fairly a veteran with it, so I might struggle even for our tailgate this Sunday. But yeah, I think the biggest thing in fan mode now is just to be in a setting where I can just relax and watch the game without honestly too much people talking to me.
That's gonna be tough for you this week, bro.
Hey, I'll make it happen.
Yeah, you gotta get on airplane mode out there at the stadium and tell people,
But
you know what I'm
but
saying?
like to what you said, like this is probably like my as a road game, probably like my second one ever. The first one was last year in New Orleans, which was like, it was good. I see why people into all this stuff, but like I say, once I sit down and lock into the game, then I think people will know not to just bother me in a sense.
Yeah. They still gonna want them autographs. Fans don't give a shit about your privacy, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you. They don't care about your happiness,
I
your
know it.
children, none
Hey,
of that, dog. They just want an autograph and a quick picture for the gram.
I'll be chilling too, so hey, I'm more than welcome. You never know what that do to somebody's day. You know what I mean?
That's facts. What you got on the agenda for Friday? Come on.
So, I'm a little veteran at this point. I've been to a couple. We like to, drink a little bit, you know, vibe with the fans. I would say honestly, I just wake up and I just check the weather. If it's raining, I'm probably not going. But
That's good.
if it's good weather, I'm there because Miami traffic is just too crazy when it starts raining. Everyone forget to drive and it just kills the whole mood. But I'm looking forward to it though. This year is last year was a little tough. With all those L's, but this year we look to bounce back and I look to celebrate a little bit more after the games this time around.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, man. I wake up in the morning. I gotta get some exercise in just to take that edge off. I be having butterflies. Like I feel like I gotta go
Hey,
tackle somebody, bro. You know what I'm
hey,
saying?
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Keep going, keep going. I need to hear this.
So I go do my cardio in the morning, man. Whatever it may be, I switch it up sometimes, but I go do my cardio, get that out the way. Then when I get back from the cardio, it's all vices time after that, bro. I done took the edge off, done got some adrenaline out because I be feeling like I gotta cover somebody, you know what I'm saying, in some man on man, cover one type joint. Once I get that edge off, and then it's straight to the vices. If it's a 7 p.m. game, I gotta pace myself. And we all got late games. So my advice to the fans, pace yourself so you don't pass out or, you can make it through the full game. But I'm gonna throw some game day on. If it's a Saturday, game day ain't what it used to be, but I gotta have it on the tube while I'm getting my tweets off, seeing what's going on around the country. What sob story they may have for, some unfortunate kid. Get all those vibes off, and then I'm put on my gear. I got like I have a shirt every year that I'm gonna wear at home. Now if I'm going to a game, I cop something new, but at the crib, I get me one shirt, and that's my ritual. I'm gonna wear this shirt every Saturday morning. Unless we start taking a bunch of L's, then I'm gonna throw it out the window and get a new shirt. But how y'all preparing for the hurricane? Or y'all good? Not Miami Hurricanes, but We got one that's hitting the west coast of Florida right now.
That's what we do all year through the state of Florida. Not playing. Nah, I'm in the crib chilling. It's pouring already, but we still got to get business done. So we Floridians. So
Yeah, Lion. We was on a group call. Lion said, "What are you boys gonna do if a hurricane hit this week?" I said, "Man, we Floridians barbecue. What do you mean?"
Yeah. No, I think with the hurricane, you can only prepare as best as you can. You know what I mean? We don't got hit with some bad ones. We don't got hit with some that it was supposed to be bad and it wasn't bad. So
Right,
you
right.
never know. You can just pray for the best. You know what I mean? Because I know I'm talking with my boy probably like an hour ago, O'Leary, and he freaking out because his wife back home in Palm Beach, and he up in the stadium trying to leave, get back to his two kids. So it's like I don't know. It's one of them things where it's like, man, you can just only prepare as best as you can.
Yeah, tell nigga he's safe down here, bro. We getting some rain, but I don't think we gonna
All
get
right, I'm gonna
anything.
tell him that because he freaking out, man. He excited because the game, but he like I get my wife. She gonna be safe, so I get it.
Yeah, no, he's gonna be all right. Like I said, we got quite the show. Before we get into any of the breakdown of the Swamp Kings with my man Ahmad Black, we got to pay some bills. Shout out to the great folks at State Farm Insurance. Be sure to visit allenhorninsurance.com or give them a call at 706-692-2888 if you're in the states of Florida, Georgia, Tennessee, or Alabama and need any insurance, life insurance, um, car insurance. If you have a trailer, he insure those. Any financial services you may need. My man Allen Horn, he's a former Gator pitcher, a former Yankee pitcher. His family and his mom and dad are Knowles. We was able to sneak him on over to the Gator side to play some sports with us, but
My
he's a
boy
part of
got
the
it in
big
his
three.
blood.
Absolutely, man.
It's in his
We we,
blood.
we upgraded his life a little bit, Kenny. We upgraded his life, man. One time for the legend, man. One time for my guy, friend of mine, friend of the show, friend in real life, D. Ahmad Black. Ahmad, what it do, my dude? Did he black out? No, Ahmad blacked out. Ahmad blacked out. No pun intended. We'll see if we can get him back here in a minute. Hey, while y'all here, man, be sure to like and subscribe. While we waiting on Ahmad to figure out his technical issues, what do you feel about Miami, Ohio been talking a little greasy. They players, Blaine Gabbert, little brother, came out talking crazy. How you feel about that, Ahmad? You feeling comfortable?
So first off, brother
Y'all,
was a
y'all can hear
bust.
me?
Let me stop. All right. Like, why is it every year? Like,
Can y'all hear me?
oh, there we go.
Yeah. We got you.
Oh, my bad, bro.
There you go.
Nah, you good. You good. Give us. We'll get back to that, y'all.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
it do,
I
Ahmad?
need to hear this take right here. I need to hear this.
What's going on with it? What's up with it?
Man,
What's
we
the word,
vibing,
man?
man.
Man, I'm bobbing, man. It's just it's football season, and shit, you know how I get, man. I know it get like that in Miami and Tally and Gainesville, man. And like I always say, bro, football at its best when the Florida team's good. So
Yeah,
you got
they
to find a way
all
to shake back.
they all heavy on the trail. They had somebody put out a graphic this week, man. Miami just got to commit for a safety, and they put out a graphic of the number 1, number 2, and number 3 safety in the country, all going to Florida State and Miami. Bro, I appreciate that, man. It's all thriving. We got to
Yeah,
get it
man.
back
Yeah.
to where it used to be. So I ain't mad at it at all.
How them Jets doing, Black?
Man, we got Miami Norland got on us, man.
They got y'all?
Yeah, man. A couple mental errors. That quarterback played really well, man. And just you know, dudes ain't do the assignments, right? So it was first game of the season. They got a late score right before halftime and got the ball after halftime.
Mm.
But at the end of the day, bro, that's probably the best team we probably played in 2 years. I ain't taking nothing from them or whatnot.
Hey,
And
that be
yeah,
needed
man.
though.
Yeah,
Them
yeah.
games
So
like that be needed.
yeah, man. Yeah. So hey, they came and took it from us, man. But we still rumbling like how we supposed to be. So we'll be all
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Before we get into Swamp Kings, y'all in the rebuild year at Lakeland, or y'all reloading at the
Nah, bro,
clip?
we straight. We just ain't have 27 transfers. We had a couple. You
Oh,
know what I
okay.
mean? The boy stepped in here with 27 on him, I think. So, but that
Yeah,
ain't no excuse, dog. You got to go play football. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
absolutely.
So
Absolutely. Let's get into some Swamp King talk. Me and you I hit you up and you know the text. We've been talking Swamp Kings before it even hit the waves. You hit me up when they started recording and let me know what was going on in Netflix. That was like feels like 2-3 years ago at this
yeah,
point.
bro.
Give me your overall experience with the before we get into the nuances of it. What was your overall experiences with the special?
Man, it was so crazy because like, just imagine, bro. You at the house or whatever, and you get a message on like Facebook, and the lady was like, "Hey, my friend trying to do a documentary on y'all." So I'm like, "What?" Like, so I click on her page, and it's like one picture from like the UK. And I'm like, "Nah, bro, this don't sound right." So around that same time, like a couple dudes had got a few messages and whatnot, and we started texting each other like, "Hey, man, did you get this message or whatnot?" And everybody kind of started receiving those messages, and then we end up getting on a call with them, with the producers, just to figure out what all they had planned for it and whatnot, and if we wanted to do it. I'm gonna tell you right, like this, bro. They said they already gonna do it. They had already bought the rights from the school. They was gonna make it, bro.
Right.
Now whether we was in it or we not in it, they still was gonna make it.
Mm.
So we all came to the common grounds, like, all right, if they're gonna make it, we might as well tell our story, right? And for like a month, 2 months straight, man, every Thursday we would get on the Zoom call, and all the players that you can name from them teams was on there. You feel me? Like 20 of us on there, and they gave us a list of the dudes who they had already reached out to. Netflix did the producing company, and it was like, bro, like there's no way we about to let y'all tell a Gator story with these players. No disrespect to them, you know what I mean? Um, so we kind of gave them a list of who we wanted on there. The issue is, bro, now you gotta link and get with these dudes to actually do it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Right.
I'm seeing a lot of stuff like, oh man, they ain't had this person, this person, this person. It's like, bro, everybody y'all naming was on those Zoom calls and just randomly start backing out. So we had to go with what we had. You know what I mean? And me personally, me and Major, we were like, man, we want to do this for our kids, bro.
Yeah. I
Even
feel
before they
that.
was talking about money and whatnot, because it's not too many times, bro. You know somebody personally, or that had a Netflix documentary on them.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, when I turn old, my kids, how they kids, you know what I'm saying? They can say, hey man, look at your grandpa.
Right. 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 Yeah,
You
big
know,
big big
so
legacy piece. I get it.
yeah, man, that's what we did it for. And then as we kept getting closer to the filming, closer to filming, and then we filmed. I mean, I filmed like 3 or 4 sessions for like 5 hours apiece. You know what I mean? And
I seen you brought the jury out, boy. You made sure
yeah,
you had all that jury on, dog. I
I
seen the
just got
rings.
another one too, boy. Ooh.
You had that one.
But
Oh, you got
yeah, man,
Lakeland one.
we had an opportunity to do that, man, and they actually paid us more than what they said they was gonna pay us.
Mm.
So I really wasn't tripping about that. So it formed, like I say, well, like you said, it was like 2-3 years ago. I was still living in Gainesville, and I've been up here probably like 2 years, 2.5 years now. So when we
Yeah.
started that, I was back in Gainesville still.
Right. Right. Dude, I know a lot of people wanted the Percy. My biggest gripe was not just Percy. I wanted Percy in it, and I understand why some people meant it. Plus, Percy's a little bit more introverted. He's not really that outgoing like that. So I could get why he probably sat out. But I thought Chris Lee, whether he was in it or not, I just thought it could have been told a little better the way they started it. You know what I'm saying? Even with Zook leaving, I just thought it was like a transition storytelling because I think Leak was more involved. I don't think I know he was more involved in that first national championship, and it just sounded like the whole documentary like they were just waiting on Tebow, and Tebow was going to be the savior to get this going. But Leak was a leader of men that first year, and that was his natty. Tebow came in and punched some touchdowns. He had an
It's
important
gonna
role,
look
but
weird, bro. Like I felt like they didn't want to tell too much of the story when dudes weren't there.
right,
You see what I'm saying? Like you got to understand this production company is from the UK. Like what? Like how much are they gonna really tell our story if the dudes ain't there to tell it? You get what I'm saying? So I think that had a lot to do with it, man. And I kind of get where like I said, the school had the rights to it, so there was no way in God's green hell that they're gonna let Netflix, production company talk bad about our school. And that wasn't happening. So if people, I see people saying, "Oh, well, they ain't talk about this, and, all the negative stuff," where it's like, there's no way they're gonna let this happen. Does that make
right.
sense?
Yeah,
Um,
no, I get the fluff piece for
yeah,
sure.
with the Chris
Yeah,
Lee whole situation, man, I admire him, bro. He throw one of the prettiest balls I ever seen.
Yeah.
I think in his case, what they were I don't think they were bashing him. I think they were saying it more along the lines of, I'm gonna give you an example. Johnny Brantley and Urban offense.
Right.
So what we had was, remember, Zook recruited Chris Lee.
Yeah.
And he lit it up with like Chad Jackson and all them boys. You see what I'm saying? And then when he got in Urban's offense, it was different. It's literally night and day, bro. It's not even the same. So in Urban offense, they need somebody to be fluid with their legs and make things happen and extend plays with their legs. And I don't think that Chris Lee really had that in his game. But that don't make him trash. You see what I'm saying? I think, when Urban first got there, it took a while for him to kind of like really get it going a little bit. That second half of the season, though, was Chris Leach, bro. I'm not trying to argue with nobody about that. Now, we will say this, though. Like the fourth down in Tennessee, you put Chris Leach in the game. Do you get that fourth down?
Oh, no, you need Tebow. You
So
need
like
Tebow for sure.
It was almost like, I get what people saying. Like, it made it like he was sorry. He wasn't sorry. He by far wasn't sorry, bro. He one of the best quarterbacks probably ever suit up for Florida, bro.
Yeah, the numbers
You
there.
hear me say that, and I don't really too much say that about dudes, man. I keep it real, and I just think they told it a different way and didn't really want to tell his story without him being there.
Got you. Y'all boys got any questions? I go all day. I'll ramble.
I
can talk a lot.
I ain't seen Black since the in Orlando.
Yeah. What's up with it, man?
My only question is, do y'all beat the 13 team?
Y'all can't throw the ball, bro. Y'all be
Come on, what?
On Winston, bro. This man was gonna throw us picks. This man threw like 25 picks in 1 year or some crazy shit like
Who you talking about?
That your quarterback.
Bro, we got the best offense in top 10 in college football history.
I will too if I played Boston College in North Carolina State. And North Carolina.
We played Florida too. In the
swamp. Yeah. All right, you heard what I said. Now week in and week out.
Hey, we threw for 400.
Yeah, it wasn't Joe Hayden and Major Wright and Janoris and me back there.
Hey, all right. I just want to know who matching up with who. Who matching up with who?
First of all, Janoris gonna get on anybody and they ain't gonna catch the ball. So let's just start right there.
That's not true.
Man, Janoris and Joe shut down Julio and AJ Green,
and I heard you talking about O'Leary, and I love O'Leary game, but come on, bro. What are we talking about, bro? I ain't even no disrespect to him, bro. Come on, bro.
All I'm saying is, what you saying about the outcome of the game? Is it blowout or what you saying?
The Percy Harvin gonna run up and down on y'all like he crazy.
Oh, here you go. Oh, now you're in the fantasy world. It's fantasy world now. Now we in the fantasy world.
This is Percy Harvin now. Come on, now.
Come on, bro. What you talking about, bro?
But with all due respect, it's like I was saying to Silk last week. When it comes to championships, that Swamp Kings made it like I was sitting on the couch like watching it. I was like, damn, it is hard as hell to win a championship because it was so much like up and downs and off the field, and they don't even talk about the nightlife like that or just schoolwork, but it was just like, damn, that's you got to give it to any team that do it, even if you might not like it. Even if you might not like the damn lizards. So but hey, Ahmad, I can say shout out to Billy Gonzalez. However I can get in contact with him, he the reason I went to Florida State.
Yeah.
and that's off the record. Look, that's some off the record type stuff because it's
Billy character, man.
Man, Black, hey, the man told me in my living room, hey, Shaw, this staff breaking up. I don't know what Myers told you, but I'm going to LSU if you want it.
Yeah.
And we breaking up. And because I was Orlando, Florida, it's Florida Gator country.
Yeah.
And I'm already.
So let me tell you a little bit about that. A lot of people don't know this either, man. Urban actually wanted to step down after 09, right?
Man, hey.
A lot of the reason he came back in 10 was to try to secure those assistant coaches' jobs. So I feel like that's a real stand-up type move right there. You know what I mean?
So what do you know about his stepping down in 09? Like, what was understood he was stepping down for at that time?
Just basically what he told you, bro. I mean, the dude, you ride by the stadium coming from downtown or something, and you see his car at 3 or 4 in the morning, underneath the stadium. You see what I'm saying? It's like he couldn't get enough of football.
Man, that was Jimbo Fisher, boy.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when you got a high energy guy like that who love football, man, so it's gonna crash sometimes. You gotta crash, bro. It's human
Yeah.
element. You gonna crash.
Yeah.
And the only way you stand up like that is you doping or you know what I mean? And eventually, man, it's gonna weigh you down. You know what I'm saying? So
What do you think about Cam Newton say he ain't getting no rain, bro? Like what do you feel about Cam Newton?
Why you laughing, bro?
let me give you a story, bro. So a lot of people don't know this either, bro. And that's what I kind of want to talk to Eric about. I talk to Eric probably about 2 or 3 times a week, bro. I talk to Eric every Friday.
Tell him to return my text. I text him.
I got you.
I'll shoot my shot for like the Swamp Keys, bro. I said might as well, bro.
Man, yeah, but like, so really, chill out. Really, so usually, typically, how it works, a freshman is probably gonna be redshirted, especially in our time, right? You had to go in there and do something really different, and that's what Cam ended up doing. So you got to understand the time that Cam came in there. So Cam came in. His freshman year was my freshman year. Our freshman year, Tebow won the Heisman. So let's get that out the way. So you finna tell me that you finna put a kid in over the Heisman Trophy winner, and before his Heisman Trophy winner, he's the biggest thing that stepped foot on campus since probably Emmitt Smith or something like that. And you finna put a guy in there at the time that couldn't throw the ball from me to you, couldn't throw a check down. Now he had a super strong arm. Cam's arm always been strong, but there was no way he was hitting check downs. There's no way he was hitting, the post off a dig. It was no way. You see what I'm saying? So you got to put that all in account of this man came when Tebow won the Heisman and didn't redshirt. So he still played as a freshman and didn't redshirt. Now that's where it gets sticky at because he was the only. Well, we had a junior college transfer in Cam. Johnny Brantley was committed to Texas, and a couple of days before signing day, he signed to Florida.
Right.
Now, I don't know if that has something to do with his family and whatnot. I don't know. I want to find that out. It's like that's what I want to ask her. Like, what was it? Because I'm I'm gonna get into it. So freshman year, they redshirted John Brantley, right? But that freshman year they played Cam. Fast forward through that season, come back sophomore year, they redshirt Cam and not Johnny Brantley because Johnny Brantley just redshirt. So our backup quarterback wasn't Cam in 08. It was Johnny Brantley.
Didn't know that.
I don't think Cam got any snaps as a sophomore. Plus, he was dealing with injury too, so he had hurt his back really bad. So I think that kind of went in account of a lot of things as well. But I love Cam, bro. Cam was one of my favorite players, in that class, man. And personally, like he's just super awesome, bro. You know what I mean? He's super down to earth. He the life of the party. You gonna know he in there. He's 6'7". You see what I mean? But dog, you got kicked out of school for theft, bro. What you think these people finna do, bro? You know what I mean? Like come on, man. You already know Florida ain't about to do that. You see what I'm saying? They're not gonna do that. And you didn't even finish the season. So so you didn't play any snaps as a sophomore or redshirt freshman, whatever you want to call it. You didn't even finish the season at the school because you got kicked out of school for theft. And then you want a ring? I don't know. I don't make those decisions. I just personally don't think they're gonna give him one. No. I don't think they ever even thought about giving him one.
No, it's definitely not in the mail, Black. It's not in the mail.
Nah, man. I don't think so. But again, I don't make them decisions. I just know that, you gotta see it. I don't think he get one.
Why does he want a ring so bad if he went and won one at Auburn? Like, what's the
in JUCO?
Yeah,
yeah, bro. That's the thing, dog. He played against one of my childhood friends growing up in the JUCO national championship. So you went to Auburn, won one. You won one in JUCO, and you won Rookie of the Year, and you won Heisman. I think right now, bro, Swamp Kings was hot, and he just went on and made all that. You see what I'm saying? And just piggybacked off it, because really, in all honesty, it makes 0 sense.
Right. What is the group chat saying? I know y'all talking to some Gators that wasn't on the Netflix. Everybody cool with it? Like, what's the vibes?
It's just funny because it's like some dudes that was like, man, they ain't gonna tell us the true story and da 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 da. And like these dudes that got kicked off the team, like played a little bit, early kicked them off the team, and I mean, dudes are selling out, and I'm looking at their Facebook, and they just, I don't respond to them like that. But
Yeah.
I'm just looking at these dudes posts. I mean, other girls from other sports, like just praying on the downfall, and then as soon as they get the little half second clip in the video, they posting it now. You know what I mean? And like, oh, I made Netflix, and they just like, damn, bro, you were just over here last week doing all that hoorah, and now all of a sudden you're a movie star.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, man, it's cool though, man. Like I say, I don't know if y'all really checked it out for real, but dude, we was doing the mat drill. Dude choked me out, bro. I don't. That was my first time ever doing it, bro. Joey Sorrentino, dog. I see you, bro. You know you my boy, bro. But we got to square back up again.
Man, what
I
was
ain't
that,
never
man?
seen that tape until that then.
I know hard work, but what the hell was that, man?
So it's basically who is tougher, me or you. So what they'll do is like put wide receivers and DBs, O line, D line, big skill against linebacker, and they'll have like a line, one spot, and they'll decide before we do it who's on the bottom, offense or defense. So they'll blow the whistle, bloop. Whoever on the bottom will jump out, right? So it was my first time ever doing it. I jumped out, and I just jumped out, and you got to wait till the dude jump on top of you, and then y'all go. So the dude who jumped on top is the person trying to keep you from getting to the tape at the end of the pad, and then you trying to get there if you're on the bottom. You feel me? So you can do scratch, kick, claw, bite, whatever you need to do to get there, but you just can't stand on your feet. And it just mentally try to drain you. I mean, dudes, I seen dudes get their nose broke, all kind of stuff. You know what I mean? But I had jumped down there as a freshman with my head up, and that's easy access to put that arm under there and choke you. So you got to really jump down, bro, and tuck your chin like that. If you don't tuck your chin, bro, it's over with, bro. And all they kept saying, bro, was don't quit, don't quit. So when dude choked me, bro, I wasn't finna quit. That was the last thing I was finna do. And next thing you know, I woke up, I was standing up, bro. That's all I remember. When my eyes closed, bro, I was on the ground. My eyes open, bro, I was standing up, bro. And I'm like, yo, what? And I never saw that film, Silk, until the show. And I'm like, yo, but it really signified like what it took to, like Shaw say, what it took to try to be a champion.
Right.
Especially in Urban's team. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like they'll make us do we have to get in football position, right? For a long time. You don't even know when they're gonna stop, bro. I'm talking about a long time. And dog, if you wipe your sweat on your face, if you just do one of these, Shaw wipe the sweat on his face, start over. And they're gonna try to get a freshman because what come after that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Freshman were one of the fat boys.
Yeah. Now you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it got grimy. I got on a freshman or two one time when I was a senior. Because then when you start doing the mat drills, it'll be like senior, junior, sophomore, freshman. So say you tired, bro. In the first group, when they blow the whistle, you gotta hop out. If you dive or whatever it is. And then as soon as that first group hop out, the second group gotta be in football position the whole entire time. They gotta snap. Like you can't be like, and then you be like, oh shoot. So whoever mess up, it start from the top. So where dudes just get in trouble at, if you're a freshman or sophomore and you ain't paying attention, now these seniors keep going back and forth, you know what I mean? And have to start from the top. Now they're gonna get mad. You see what I'm saying? So it got real intense in there.
My last question is, man. Now before I get to my last question, because I got a good last question for you, but what was it like when Urban told you? Me and you talked about it before in real life, but and we saw it on Swamp Kings. But what was it like, just from one-on-one here, when Urban Meyer said you was a waste of a recruitment and that it was a recruiting mistake? Like, what was the vibes like?
Well, my mindset was just trying to figure out why this dude just said that. You know what I mean? And you like, no disrespect to a lot of dudes, bro, but you put my film on, bro, I was that. So when you say I'm a recruiting mistake in my high school film, you wildin'. I was third on our team in touchdowns. We had Jamar Taylor and Chris Rainey on our team. And I played defense. I didn't play not one snap of offense in high school. and I was third on our team in touchdowns. So when you say something like that, it's just like, I'm gonna tell you what. Stop it. I'm gonna tell you what used to be weird was going back to our dorm room, dog, and we were so competitive. Even going back to high school, with like the pouncies and whatnot, man. And I know one pouncy he was starting as a freshman, and then the other pouncy they put him on defense and he was starting. It's just like it felt weird going back to the dorm room and be like, hey, like I ain't even getting the game, bro.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And like these dudes got war wounds. These dudes got to go to treatment on Sunday. And I don't got to do none of that because I ain't even. I mean, I can name you about 6, 7, 8 games as a freshman. I ain't even step on the field. And they ain't redshirt me. You see what I'm saying? So it brought a different element because I know what these dudes was on and I know like what it took. I just had to buy in and kind of get myself better because I came straight out of high school. Them dudes was. It's a little bit harder. Well, it's hard to play in the interior too, but. When you out on the island trying to guard, like I say, Percy. I'm gonna tell you a funny story of Coach Heater one time. Stop, son. We were doing 1-on-1s and like saw it towards the end, man. Y'all know, AR when they get towards the end, dog, of that period, it start getting watered down a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're gonna have Caldwell go against Joe Hayden. You're gonna have Percy go against who we had, Wandy or something like that. You know what I mean? You're gonna have Hernandez or CI going against Major at the time because I was a freshman. So then Bubba Caldwell has stepped up one time, right? And nobody wanted to go against the man. I'm like, damn, y'all scared of Bub? Like, I know y'all done got 2 reps already, but shoot, I ain't getting none yet.
Yeah.
So man, Bubba stepped up, and this when I was playing corner. This before they moved to safety, and Coach Heater was like, hey, I need a corner to go out there. So I was like, shit, fuck it. So I put my stuff on and went out there. That man said, Ahmad Black, get your ass out of there. You're my 7th damn corner. And I'm like, damn, he just embarrassed me. But in the same breath, though, it get funny, bro. I'm looking around. I'm only counting 5 dudes. I'm like, how the fuck am I 7? My bad, because I said, how am I number 7, bro?
No, we cuss on here.
No, I say, bro, it's 5 dudes, and you just told me to get out because I'm the 7th corner. There is only 5 of us, bro. That right there, bro. I'm like, nah, bro. I gotta change this, bro. I ain't like where this was going. I ain't like none of that, bro. And then over time, bro, it just got stop, man. Over time, it just got I started learning it more, and I was an early enrollee, so it kind of like that's what kind of helped me with being able to start as a sophomore because I'm telling you right now, they were slated to start Will Hill. Like they went and got Will Hill, out of Jersey to start. There was no question, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He was the number 1 player in the country. But like people were like laughing at me because my hamstrings and all that, and I was pulling them, like I said on the show. Guess what Will Hill came in there and started doing?
Same thing.
Pulling the hamstrings, jamming his fingers, doing all kind of goofy stuff a freshman do. And when I had done been in there already a year and a half, you feel me? Because I came early. So that's what propelled me over him because, you know what I mean? Like I had already did what he did a whole year before. And then that first game, I had 2 picks and I cleared 1 for 80. And then, you ain't finna take me out after that.
Hey, man, y'all like and subscribe. Shout out to my guy, Jake, down there. He said, man, we got 104 people in here. Right now it's 109. We got 24 likes. Man, y'all hit that like button, man. If we got that many likes and that many people in here, we got a lot of haters amongst us. Don't be a hater. It's free to show love, right? It don't cost nothing to hit the like button, dog. That's just right there. Ahmad, before we get you out of here, bro, what do you feel about, I want to ask you about Florida and also what you feel about Florida State. Do you think me and you talked about this a little bit?
Yeah, man. So Florida got a lot of proving to do. Obviously, man. The last 2 years we've been under 500, which I don't remember the last time we did that 2 years in a row. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I definitely think it was an overhaul with a lot of the players that it's going to be new players that step on the field this year for the orange and blue, man. And I'm excited. It boils down to this, dog. Like, let's just be realists, bro. Like, no matter how many games Miami win or lose, guess what you're going to do game 1? You're going to be tuned in and you're going to be ready. Shaw, my lie,
baby. Let's get these lies off.
They win 3 games, you're going to be like, man, we saw it. But guess what happened on that next season? It's a clean slate.
Yep.
So I'm about to, you know what? And no matter what, bro, I'm always going to be a Gator, man. My wife a Gator. You know what I'm talking about? So, it's straight Gator here, but, it just sucks, when they not doing as well as we done lied the whole summer about. You feel me?
Yeah.
Because I've been lying, bro. I ain't even going to lie. I'm ready to lie some, I might lie a lot tomorrow, so y'all just be prepared for the timeline. But man, I think we can flip it around. Now, I'm not saying we're gonna be no national champs or anything like that anytime soon. Which if we do, that'd be crazy. But I do think we're gonna have a turnaround from the last 2 years.
Yeah, I feel that. You feel Florida State's a playoff caliber team? We talked about this last show ourselves. What do you think?
I mean, absolutely, dog. You know what I mean? They got a lot of transfers that came in, and it basically got a veteran team. And like I said, like the scheduling over there, not trying to be funny, but it's they worry about Clemson. It's always somebody that knock them off doing some weird stuff. You know what I mean? Like you have a Wake Forest one year or something. That'll test you, man. And the same with us. But they if they beat Clemson, bro, I think they have a good chance of making it to the playoffs.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Appreciate you for hanging out with us, bro.
You ain't asking about Miami. They are over there.
Oh yeah,
Like,
what's up? What you feel about Miami?
Yeah,
I know. Me and you.
Hey,
you see how you
It's
do
a
you,
big,
bro?
it's a big matchup.
Like
We need to talk about Miami. It's a big matchup with the Miami. It's the Miami Bowl this week, bro.
So all right. So who the real Miami then?
Listen, last time we played them stats, we beat them boys 54-3. First off, why is a dude who older brother was Mud talking? Like, I don't get it. That's number one. Two, like, this is the thing though. This is the thing. This is how people set up. If he goes out and plays and performs right and win, he's the greatest. If he goes out there and throws 6 picks for 100 yards and whatever and looks trash, nobody gonna say nothing. He's just gonna go to sleep the next day and wake up. So he's just kind of throwing it out there as hope, but it's false hope because first play of the game we get smacked upside his head. You know how it is. You know how it is.
That's the only thing. I had, I was telling somebody fans today. It's question marks at the quarterback position. We already know Miami gonna have skill dudes, bro. They're gonna have a guy or two in the interior that's gonna be really, really good too. It's just all about quarterback play, man. And that we're starting to see it more and more, especially in the college game. You can't get away with just playing mediocre dudes, man. They got to play. If they mediocre, they got to excel their ability. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I think that in the NFL it's really like that. College is starting to get there. So man, you got to amplify your quarterback play. That's gonna amplify everything else around you.
That's facts.
That's right. Yep.
All right, Black. Hold it down.
All right,
dude.
man. I appreciate
you,
y'all,
man.
dudes, man.
all right,
All
Black.
So, man.
I'm gonna hit you.
Hey, man, I appreciate it. All right, man. I'll
Yeah,
talk to y'all soon.
Yes,
For
sir.
sure.
Yeah.
That's the legendary Ahmad Black kicking it with us. Make sure y'all hit like, subscribe. I'm trying to get the next writer on. Oh, here we go. We're going to get my man kicking it a little bit. We're going to talk Utah first. Give me just a moment to get my man together here. Y'all like, subscribe to the channel. We appreciate y'all for hanging out with us. Bear with me just a minute. I'll bring my man Alex Markham from Rivals. Utes Nation. What is a Ute? Y'all boys know what a Ute is before I get them on? No?
If I had to guess, I would think it sounded like a goatee, but I'm not sure.
Sound like a what?
A goatee. Like
A
one
goatee?
Sound like one of these, like they logo.
I'm saying a Ute sound like a type of bull or something. So, I don't
It's
know.
a tribe, fellas. You should know as a Seminole. Like, this is like your brother. It's like
Hey.
your cousins. Distance
I don't
cousins.
know about no brother now. That's a little bit, but I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
We kicking it with Alex Markham from Utes Nation, Rivals.com. Alex, how you doing, my dude?
I'm doing good. Thank you guys for having me on.
No, we appreciate you for hanging out with us, man. How's it going in Ute Nation, man? How's the altitude and everything out there, man? For my people head out there.
Have fun with it. I mean, here's what I can tell everybody, right? Is I got a buddy that's coming in town from Georgia, and every time he comes out here, he says he's just dying within the first 2 hours. And he's not out here even, running around being an athlete. So that kind of gives you an idea. I mean, somebody like me, I mean, I kind of sit back. It's like, I'm so used to it. It's like, how would that affect somebody? But it's pretty crazy just to see all the comments that, all the teams give over the years with just how that can affect their game. So get ready for it. Get used to it. Even the fans, you're going to feel it a little bit. It's a gorgeous state, gorgeous scenery with the mountains and everything. But yeah, you're definitely going to feel the altitude.
Yeah, I'm not sleeping on the altitude. I know it's not like Denver, but it is a thing. You guys' home record kind of reflects that it is some type of advantage out there. And Kyle Whittingham does have a good team. What is before I get into the X's and O's and into some of the science of all of this? What is the health? And I'm sure everybody wants to know this of Cam Rising. Where we at with it?
Yeah, so they didn't allow media into practice this year. It's been that way for a few years now. They also don't really talk about injuries. Even if I hear something, if I was to fully talk about it, they'd rip my credentials from me. But when it comes down to it, I mean, what I can tell you guys is, the timeline has really kind of stayed the same ever since Whittingham started talking about it in the spring, where they were hoping to get him cleared within 7 to 10 days before camp. I mean, before the home opener.
Right.
And from there, all the updates were remaining the same. I know that there hadn't been any setbacks or anything like that, but they've really kind of stayed mum on it. I don't think he necessarily thinks it's a gamesmanship thing. I think it's just a habit thing that he's kind of done over the years. And why show my hand if I have to?
Yeah.
But Cam is the type that, so it's not up to Cam, it's not up to the team trainers, it's up to the surgeon that actually did his surgery. And so it's going to have to deal with seeing an MRI as well as doing some on-field tests, is what I've been told. If he can get that cleared, I know Cam is the type that's going to want to be out there and playing. I know that there's going to be others just sitting back saying like, "Hey, man, like, look, you're cleared, but let's give this 3 weeks." And it's nothing to say anything bad about Florida whatsoever, right? It's just
Yeah.
Utah sees what's important. It's the last year of the Pac-12. They have a chance to go out as three-peat champions, something that hasn't been done in the Pac-12 before. And so it's about looking at the big picture more than anything else.
Yeah, y'all caught these hands last year and still won the pack, so y'all can do that again this year.
You know what? Like all credit to Florida on that game. That was one of the worst games I've ever seen a Utah defense play. A lot of that had to do with Richardson. A lot of it also had to do with just the fact that Utah and plenty of teams they don't play those caliber games to start the season, right? A
Right,
lot of
right.
teams play cupcakes, and so when it came down to it, Utah really kind of realized they weren't doing enough live work, they weren't doing enough tackling, with their starters and second string, and that's an adjustment they've made this year for better or for worse. I mean, just like Florida, Utah's dinged up, from fall camps, so it's going to be interesting.
Hmm. And what's the prognosis on the tight end who caused us a lot of hell last year? Brent Kuthi. Am I saying his last name right? Kuthi?
Keithy.
Keithy?
Keithy. There. I would say there's a better likelihood of Cam playing than Keithy.
Mm.
Not that you guys are gonna sleep easy on it, because I'll tell everybody right now, go and Google, do YouTube highlights of Thomas Yasmin. That's Yassmin, and the dude's a nightmare. He's 6'5", about 260, 265 pounds, and the dude can move, and he is violent. He grew up playing rugby, so yeah, I would put the odds on Cam playing higher than Keithy, just from everything I'd kind of been hearing over the last week or so.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I figure it's next man up. I respect Utah's roster and their development, what they got going on over there, but he did cause us some hell last year, so we'll see if
He's
he can
he's a
lock up.
nightmare. He's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
nightmare.
How do you feel about the backup? I know you had Brandon Rose, who went down with an injury. I think Kyle Whittingham is nuts for going, full fledged tackling his quarterbacks in camp. But you lose Brandon Rose, and now it's Bryson Barnes or Nate Johnson, who's going to be the backup quarterback. What's the feel on both of those guys?
So a few things on this, So like I said, I can't really talk about injury stuff.
Oh, okay,
Um,
okay, okay.
one. Well, no. So
I don't think
one
Kyle
thing,
listening, so you can get that off, bro.
right. One thing I will say about it though is, this is to defend Kyle on this. What I've been told is, as cool of a myth as it is that your defense knocked out a backup quarterback, and all reports are and it's been online, like a punctured liver, right? But anyways, within all that stuff, what I've been told is it was a fluke thing where he fell on the football wrong. Then I don't know if somebody fell on top of him or what, right?
Mm.
So just I only mentioned that portion just to at least defend Whittingham a little bit, um but I mean, Utah's a physical team. I mean, they have a physical nature. You can't really kind of take that out of the guys. You got to keep that going. So unfortunately, there were injuries, that, whether the guy is actually playing the game or not, just were the negative downside to that. When it comes to the guys that are in the thick of the competition now, so Rose came out of spring as the number 2, but the thing is Nate Johnson, who was Cam's change of pace guy last year, and a hell of a talent with the change of pace with his running. He had gotten hurt in the spring and missed a bunch of it, and so because of that, he was behind. Everybody was really kind of looking forward to seeing his gains over spring. Um, those gains didn't really happen until Rose had gotten hurt, and it was just down to him and Bryson Barnes. So I would say within the last 2.5 weeks, uh, the gains that Nate Johnson has made have been extremely impressive. I've heard reports. Okay, we all know how like any of this stuff can kind of get twisted, but I've heard reports that he threw a 65-yard completion in the air in practice within the last 7 days. And so you throw that into the mix along with his legs. He's lethal. He's dynamic. I would say his floor is Bryson Barnes' ceiling, but at the same time, too, what Bryson Barnes can do is he's got a high football IQ. He can come in and run the offense flawlessly, and with it, if as long as he stays within the game plan, Utah should be fine. It's when he starts to try to make some of the more daring throws. Where if you go back and you watch their game against Washington State last year, granted, he started that game. He didn't know until just minutes before, pretty much, that he was starting. So it wasn't like he prepped as a starter all week. But if you go back and you watch that film, I mean, when you got a tight end like Dalton Kincaid and some of the guys that they have getting open constantly in the middle of the field, but you're choosing to throw it to in between the hashes to the sidelines. I
Yeah.
mean, you do that against Florida, and you're going to get a pick six. You're going to get 2 pick sixes on you. So that's my concern with Bryson, but he has the big game experience, and yeah, it's you fans are holding their breath that Cam can be playing.
Okay. Yeah, I think the approach to this, if like, in my opinion, right, um, Florida's a brand new offense. I think that was our advantage last year to you guys is we had film to study on of tendencies with Cam Rising and the entire offense. I want to know what you think Utah's approach would be to a totally different offense. I don't think there's really a blueprint out there, any game film to how Billy Napier is going to use Graham Mertz and the new guys that he have on that offense. So what do you think the approach would be? Just loading the box?
Yeah, Utah's honestly, not sounding like a homer or anything like that. Utah's got a pretty stacked defense, where they don't hesitate. I mean, their defensive system is going straight man to man for the most part. When they have enough experience in the secondary, they have that experience. So yeah, it's enough to really make it so the front seven can focus on that box. Utah can put enough pressure on them. We'll still put enough pressure on Mertz and be paying attention to the elite runners that you guys have, right? Etienne and Johnson, and just letting the DBs do what the DBs do. They have a lot of confidence in their secondary.
What's the
Now
conf-
with what's that?
Go ahead. Finish your thought.
Oh no, I was just going to say, like with Utah, I mean, they have enough confidence that when they can rely on that, you're going to see a lot of stunts and blitzes, and just again disguising the coverages and trying to bring that heat and try to make them uncomfortable. So yeah, it's going to be a fun matchup to watch.
No doubt. I like our size advantage. It's going to be like I just got a lot of respect for Utah and Kyle Whittingham's program, and what they've been able to build out there. So I know it's going to be a fight. It don't matter who the quarterback is. It's going to be a 4-quarter game. Um, what does Utah have to do to get a win and leave out of the, with a dub, in your
Yeah.
opinion?
Defense just needs to play like a Utah defense, and that did not look like a Utah defense in that first game. It's funny. I actually made a comment on a podcast last night with Anthony Beck through the Florida stuff with you guys that you look back at Mo Diabate's first game with Utah, and that was one where it's like when he ended up going after Richardson on that, I believe it was the 2-point conversion, right?
Oh, what a
And went
play,
for that
man!
pump fake. Yeah,
Yeah,
went for that pump fake when he had already started launching at him, right? Goes for the pump fake, throws his arms up in the air, and just totally screws things up. That is not Utah football. That is not Utah tackling. If you would have seen that guy towards the end of the season, I mean, there's a reason why he, even though he went undrafted, made the 53-man roster for the Browns. I mean, the guy is
right.
he was a night and day different player towards the end of the season. So getting back to that question, I just wanted to throw some Florida relevancy in on that part, right? For comparison's sake. But Utah just needs to play Utah defense. They strongly believe that this defense is one of the best they've ever had. I know Utah's defensive coordinator. He was talking with former All-Pro Eric Weddle, that went to Utah, and they're good friends. Anyways, Weddle let it slip that Morgan told him that he believes that this defense can rival the defense of 2019, that a lot of people strongly believe is the best defense Utah has ever had.
We're gonna
Offensively,
definitely test that, Mark. We definitely gonna try that out with Montreal Johnson, Etienne, and these young receivers for sure.
yeah, for sure. Like I said, it's going to be a fun matchup, man. And you guys have the running backs to soften the defense, and then you know go from there with the pass game. But offensively, really, and I can kind of see this being the same approach with Rising if he's able to go. Just because knowing that he's most likely not going to be 100%, right?
Right.
So with any of these guys, what Utah is really going to need to rely on is the quick passing game, hurry up offense, and really kind of focus on hammering Florida with Jaquindon Jackson when they can, getting his backup, who shouldn't even be considered a backup. He's a stud. Mekhi Bernard out of the backfield to keep them on their toes with the pass game as well. Utah's strengthened their receiving core this year. And I'm
Yeah.
telling you guys, when I mentioned Thomas Yasmin, seriously, YouTube that guy's highlights. He made USC's defenders look stupid, absolutely stupid on a
Yeah,
few plays.
I'm gonna check him out. I'm also concerned about my star position in the slot. I know you guys have some really good guys that run out of the slot. So that's my concern right there. If we can stop the run and make it, if it's whoever the quarterback is, and also my concern too is us setting the edge if it's Nate Johnson. He's a 10-500-meter guy. So
Yeah,
if he breaks contain, he could take it to the
he's
crib.
blazing fast. Yeah.
Correct. So just controlling the trenches, I think, will be okay. Just keeping the quarterback in the pocket, making them make throws, and not depend
hmm
on that run game out there is my keys to the game for my defense. Offensively, just run the ball. Do a little bit of what we did last year. The guys that we bringing back with Etienne and Montreal Jordan were playing their first game as a Gator, and they went for like 139 together, I believe. Get a little bit of a little bit of that. I think they went like 97 yards after contact. So just breaking some tackles. I know you say you guys worked on that, but the keys to the game for me on offense is running the ball, play action off of that with Graham Mertz. We got Ricky Pearsall, who I think is a matchup nightmare for anybody one-on-one. But then you mix in some of the young boys at receiver with Eugene Wilson, who I think is going to have a big first game right out to go. I think they're going to find a way just to put the ball in his hands in some type of fashion. But Aiden Mazzell, Andy Jean, some of those young boys are going to, flash and make some big plays off of the play action. But that's my keys to the game. for the offense and defense. What do you got for a score there, Alex?
Who for score? So last night, I
Hey,
mean, I
Alex,
can't.
no,
Yeah.
Alex, no more friendly shit. Tell them what the score gonna be.
So I mean, last night I'll tell you, I picked 31-20. With something like that, some people might sit back and say like, well, what the hell if Cam's not playing? How are the backups going to put up those points? I strongly, I told you what the plan should be. Um, Within that, if you guys can't stop the run, and Jaquindon Jackson, I'm telling you guys, is a damn nightmare. He was a former 4-star quarterback. All of a sudden, made the transition last year when Utah was
Yeah.
going through running back turmoil. He's 6'2", 228, and he can fly. And anyways, if Utah
I
can
got one
have,
more before you get
yeah,
to the score. Freshman
all right,
offensive tackle that you have out
yeah.
on the edge. He took a veteran guy's spot. So how confident are you in the freshman offensive tackle?
What's funny with that? So I got a stats guy, okay, and he's very big into the quantitative analysis, and he's usually pretty accurate. You guys are actually gonna like his stuff because he's pretty high on Florida when it comes out. But he was trying to say how he was down on the fact that, and he looked at it negatively, that Utah has a true freshman starting at offensive tackle. Um, I mean, that's the thing. Utah's deep on the line. They had a healthy competition there. He beat everybody out. He's up to over 300 pounds now. He's athletic. He was one of the top offensive linemen in the entire country in the first place. He arrived in spring. That did wonders for him. And I wouldn't expect you guys to know this name, but Jordan Gross, I believe he's in the Ring of Honor for the Carolina Panthers. He was a true freshman starter for Utah, and Whittingham evoked his name in practice recently, and that's something that you don't hear very often. That's one of the highest praises that a Utah offensive lineman can get, that plenty of offensive linemen can get. So Utah is extremely high on him, and confident in what he would be able to do.
All right. Let's get this score, Alex.
Yeah.
You already said 31-20 is
Well,
what you
yeah.
okay.
31-10, and the reason I'm going
31-10.
that.
31-10.
Wait, no, I'm sorry. 31-20. Why'd I say that? I'm sorry.
You meant
31-20.
that. Look.
Yeah, 31-20, right? And the reason why is I do think that altitude's going to hit them. Utah's got a physical defense. I think that Florida's going to have a rough time with them on that. I think they're going to do just enough to stop the run. And when it comes down to it, I really see Utah having success in that run game and wearing them down. And then when the third quarter hits and they're about halfway through it, that's when Florida's going to get gassed, and that's when Utah is going to start putting on more points. So really, it's Utah's physicality, their depth, and the altitude that that's where I'm going.
You got my Gators all lost in the sauce a little bit there, man. Physicality, y'all not. I like y'all. I like how y'all get busy with in the physical part of the game. But Cam Jackson, Caleb Banks, the guys we brought in the portal. I know we outsized y'all like big time. Last year we was running Gervon Dexter and Watson. We didn't have no depth at defensive tackle, so it's going to be a little different vibe when it pertains to that run defense. I think we could go 3 deep and not lose a whole lot of drop off when it pertains to defensive tackle. It's a different defensive tackle room.
I'll tell
So
you this: be careful of making that prediction, because I made that prediction last year with Utah's defensive tackle depth.
yeah,
The week before the game, so Utah had 6 legit guys on the defensive tackle group that were studs, right? That could start at a lot of P5 teams. Well, one of them left the team a week before Florida. 2 of them that were brothers had some family stuff going on, and they were burned out, and they ended up quitting right after the Florida game. And so, I mean, that tells you they were already
don't you
checked
wish
out.
that
So,
on me, Ricky Bobby?
dude, it's hey, I'm just saying, be careful. I had to go on that podcast last night that I was on last year when I was talking about it, and eat my crow. So Utah's absolutely stacked on the defensive line as well. So that's going to be a fun position battle, just to see which group does better against the other team's offensive line, man. So
Yeah. That's what it comes down
it's
to.
going to be fun.
All right, Alex.
You know who I'm looking forward to seeing with you guys too is the fact that you guys got that true freshman starting at safety. So that says a
Jordan
lot.
Castell from the
Yeah.
407, man, out
Yeah.
of Orlando. He a dog. He beat out some veterans as well. I know you got your offensive tackle, but he beat out R.J. Moten, the veteran transfer from Michigan. We had 5-star Kamari Wilson that was battling for that spot as well. He beat him out. I like dude a lot. I predicted this, so it's not like Jordan Castell like came on the scene. But for the people that listen to my content, they know on Stadium Miguel, I've been singing his praise. And I thought if it not happened the first game early in the season, Jordan Castell was going to take somebody's spot. I think the same thing will happen in the wide receiver room as well. But we'll sit a couple games and let it play out. Alex, before we get you out of here, man, as quick as you can, because I know we got people in the chamber, and I don't want to be on the Gator part of the show too long. What is your from a Utah fan's perspective? You're a little bit involved in the Swamp Kings. What was your overall thought of Swamp Kings?
Dude, it was great, but also like the Johnny Manziel one. I mean, they didn't dig deep enough. I mean, there's plenty of things that they could have dove deep on. They made it a little bit more of a rosy picture, but it was crazy, just to kind of see some of the similarities on some of those things. Ahmad talks about, and this is a great example. Okay, so Ahmad talks about Urban's doubt in him. Well, Urban also doubted Eric Weddle, who went on to be an all-decade NFL player. He's going to be a future NFL. He's going to be a future NFL Hall of Famer. Won a ring. Yeah, it's famously out there that Kyle Whittingham had to fight so hard for Urban to take him because Urban didn't think he was good enough and didn't want him, and told him it was on him if Weddle turned out like crap. And Weddle ends up being one of Urban's all-time favorite players, one of the guys that put him in that position with that perfect season to be able to make that move out there. And another funny thing to it, everybody makes a big deal about that jump pass, right? That was not the first time, so let me correct that. That was this might have not even been the first time. Who knows if it happened at Bowling Green when he was out there, right? But Ben Moa, he played tight end and a little bit of running back sometimes for Utah. He did the jump pass to beat Air Force. I want to say it was 2003, not 2004. And that was, I mean, Ute fans were as floored with that as Gators and everybody else was when Tebow did that back in the day. But it was a fun thing to watch. I have a soft spot in my heart for Urban Meyer, even though I know that he's burned plenty of bridges. And I mean, it was pretty cool to see. Ute fans, it obviously worked out well for Gators fans and Ute fans, right? Because I mean, who's going to complain with the success and the longevity of Kyle Whittingham? And then you guys get the rings.
Yeah, it all worked out. I don't have no complaints toward Urban Meyer, bro. Wish he was a little bit more accountable towards the end, like the accountability he was asking from the players. Like sometimes I think he should have been just as accountable. But when it's all said and done, bro, I got two national championships to celebrate. I seen the confetti fall. You know what I'm saying? I was there a little bit, so I enjoyed it.
Would you say he got successful too fast? I mean, that's one of the things. Like when I was watching that,
he was successful
that's
for
one
a
of
long
my
time,
things.
though. I mean, probably like he got successful quick, even at Utah. Like his rise was just so fast, so he rose fast, and we got to get it going here. But he rose fast at Utah. We hire him on. They bring him into the SEC. Everybody said it wouldn't work. He wins 2 natties, fakes a health condition, goes to Ohio State and wins there as well. And then he had more controversy, ends up at Jacksonville, and then that's where he just couldn't win that because it was just too out of his control as far as not being a recruiter and all that. But hey, Alex, appreciate you for hanging out with us. No good luck on Thursday.
Hey, I got to tell everybody that's going to be out there, enjoy that altitude.
All right.
31-10.
All right, take care, guys. What's that?
31-10.
No, 30. Well, I'll take it,
Don't
but
do
30,
it.
31-20. That was a little stiff there.
I got some
31-20.
fans in these comments that can come see Bacha.
I appreciate
Alex.
you guys having me on, man. Thank you.
Already. All right, before we move on to the LSU writer real quick, give me y'all score prediction for the Utah game, and then we'll keep it moving.
I got Florida winning 31-24.
I got y'all losing 17-3.
17-3. Nah, give me your real score.
17-3.
17-3. You think we're gonna score 3 points? 3 points? You got let me get I like that 31. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go 27-17 is what I got us at.
I
I got
think
us
defense is going to look a little sus on both sides because first game of the season,
right.
be a hostile environment. You know how it go, and I think there's going to be a lot of mistakes on the back end. So I think it's going to be a high scoring game. You know, but it's going to come down to who can run the ball better and really control the game.
Yeah, I think I want to see what my biggest thing I want to see this game is what Austin Armstrong brings to the table differently than what we had last year. He ran a very aggressive defense at Southern Miss. I like my linebackers. I'll go over the depth chart before I get out of here real quick at the end of the show. But I like that Scooby Williams and Shamar James are starting at linebacker, two guys that can run sideline to sideline and have plenty of size. They're not giving up much in the run game either. It's just a totally different defense. So I want to even if it's Cam Rising, we're gonna attack him. Like we're gonna send them dogs at him. And we got Jason Marshall on the outside, Jalen Kimber, Devin Moore, guys that can lock up and play one-on-one with their receivers. I don't care how good his receiving core is. My DBs can lock up and play with those guys. So we start that run game and we make them, have to throw the ball, get behind the sticks. They're gonna be in trouble with that backup quarterback. That's my whole synopsis of the game. Like you said, it's gonna come down to just making tackles. But if that run game, they can't get that run game going, and it's gonna be hard with Cam Jackson. Everybody don't know Cam Jackson, the transfer from Memphis, but everybody gonna know him after Thursday. If they can't get that run game going, it's gonna be a long night. And shout out to my guy Princely Umanila. He gonna have a big game. All right, let's keep it moving. I gave my score. What do you feel about? What do you feel about Kyle Whittingham not being transparent with the injury report? I know you guys had y'all thing over in Miami with Barry Jackson. Ahmad,
Yep.
how you feel about Kyle Whittingham being shy and coy with the depth chart and the injury report?
Honestly, not really. I don't really dig too much into it. Just a little tactic, school sometimes use to kind of get a little bit of advantage. But I think we've done it a couple times. A couple games I've been, question mark about am I playing or not, and it's just kind of like I know I'm playing, but it's just kind of get to the end of the week, see where everything falls, jump out on game day type of thing. But I mean, Utah's playing Florida, so I don't really think it's going to change, really the outcome of him doing that, honestly. But you know,
Yeah, we'll see where we at with it. I think we transition over, and then we'll go with some Miami and Miami, Ohio, the Miami Bowl, Battle of the Miamis. Steve Helwick from the Fun Belt.
let's go, man.
Big Maction going down on Friday. Steve, how you doing, my dude?
I'm doing excellent. I just arrived in Florida last night. I've never been to Hard Rock Stadium before. Looking forward to it. I'm doing UCF Kent State on Thursday night and then going down to the 305 for Miami Friday. So I couldn't be more excited with the coverage this week.
All right, man. We got legendary Amon Richards, former Kane wide receiver. He's gonna break it down a little bit for you. But what's up with the pregame talk? Y'all been getting very braggadocious. They feeling confident in Miami's Ohio, or Ohio's Miami. Y'all feeling confident out there? What do you say about that?
Well, Miami, Ohio was founded 116 years before Miami, Florida. So that was the original Miami when it comes to the Miami debates. And Miami, Ohio fielded a football team before Miami, Florida was even founded. So Miami had the Redhawks had the original take to the Miami, but the last three times they settled it on the field, the Hurricanes won, including in 1987 when they won 54-3. I don't know if Vinny Testaverde was playing for that squad then, but sounds like his era. So,
hey, AR, that boy came ready for you. Hey,
Yeah,
stop playing with him.
Listen, man, I'm so tired of that
Stop playing with him. Look.
Listen, man.
Hey, Steve, what's y'all sign? What y'all throwing up?
I don't know. Isn't the common anti-Miami gesture like you just
Oh,
that's probably what you'll
it.
see there. It's like the horns down for Miami.
Hey, Steve, you say you're going to the game, right?
Yes.
You better stay in the press box, Steve.
I'm gonna say hello, man.
Get into your breakdown, Ahmad. What you got, man?
Yeah, man. So going to this game, first thing I just need to get off my chest, man. I need to understand what has, you know, your quarterback over there. You know, he's kind of yapping. He's kind of getting he's chirping a little bit. He's trying to get everyone riled up over here in Miami. So I just need to understand, what has he accomplished in his time over there at the fake Miami to feel the need to start speaking this early on at an away game.
Well, what I think is really interesting about Brett Gabbert is he has a very similar trajectory to Tyler Van Dyke and how their careers went, where they both had really good breakout 2021 seasons where they were just dominant passers. And then 2022, injuries hit. They were limited to few games. And now they're both trying to make a comeback healthy for 2023 with a fresh slate of health. But Brett Gabbert, when he has been healthy, has been a tremendous quarterback for Miami. As a true freshman, he was a starter from day one in 2019. So this is his fifth straight year as a starter. And he led Miami to a MAC championship in his first season there. And he was still a very raw player. He got more polished as each year progressed. And in 2021, he was an all MAC quarterback. He was very efficient throughout the season, improved on all aspects of his game. He had a touchdown to interception ratio of, I think it was 26-6 that year. And he also won Miami their first bowl game since 2010, won bowl MVP honors. And you probably are familiar with the last name Gabbert. His brother Blaine was a first-round draft pick and is still on the Kansas City Chiefs today. It's had a long NFL career carved out for him. So Brett Gabbert hopes to follow in those footsteps. He's not the biggest quarterback at just 6'0", more than 200 pounds, but he's a tough quarterback. And he did enter the transfer portal this offseason, but he spent about a week there before deciding to run it back one last season in Oxford, Ohio. Actually, two, I think. Yeah, he still has junior status somehow because of the COVID redshirt. So he still has a few more years left.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to transition a little bit to the defensive side. Miami has a new offensive coordinator, so we're going to look to get things, going down the field this upcoming week. So I know Matt Salopek is the leader on defense. So can you just give me a little feedback on him? And, I think he's the leader of you guys' defense. So just, if you could just give me a rundown about him.
For sure. He is the only player that got on the All-MAC team in 2022 returning to Miami's defense, and he's had 2 straight seasons with over 100 tackles. Helwick started out as a safety, and the thing was Miami didn't really have much breakout potential in the 2020 season because they only played 3 games that year, which was the least of any FBS team that participated that season. But in 2021, he just instantly broke out, and he kind of played a safety linebacker hybrid role that year before fully transitioning to linebacker for 2022. And he wasn't even first on the team in tackles. They had another linebacker, Ryan McWood, who was really good, but he was one of their 2 main departures on defense. But Salopek, he is just an excellent run defender, and that showed last year because Miami had the MAC's best run defense, the best scoring defense overall. And I think that his background as a safety is going to help him in pass coverage too. So Salopek's not really somebody who you'll see on a blitz often getting to the quarterback, but he's somebody who stays true in the run game, good at wrapping up, good at tackling, and can also get guys on different levels, tackle receivers on different levels and really contribute in that area too. So he's certainly the leader on this defense. Just like Gabbert, he still somehow has junior status, so he still has a couple years left with the Redhawks, but he's definitely a force on that defense. You'll hear tackle by number 15 a lot on Friday night.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, no, I think so. I think he's a great player. Flies around, going to have a good game. But I want to touch on the defense coordinator, Bill Bretchen, been on the staff 10 years, second year as DC. Last year was great, running that 4-2-5 defense. Can you just tell me a little bit about, Coach Bill and what makes him great and that defense so good?
Yeah, one thing I really like about the Miami Redhawks is they always fly under the radar. And I think one thing that really helps them is they have a lot of continuity. And you see some of these programs like San Diego State or Ohio across the country that always seem to fly under the radar, where they don't necessarily recruit well. They don't necessarily have explosive offenses year in and year out. But one thing those programs always have is continuity with the head coaches and the coordinators. And that's one thing that Miami has too. Chuck Martin is the longest tenured MAC head coach. He's in his 10th season, and Bretchen is also entering season number 10 right now with the Miami Redhawks. And I think even though this is only a second season as defensive coordinator, he has so much background there earlier, working as both a receivers coach and having that knowledge of the offense, and then working as a safeties coach for a while. And Miami's a team, they'll run 3 safeties on the field, including one of their nickelbacks. You'll see Michael Dowell, former Michigan State transfer, in that nickelback role. So they have a lot of defensive backs flying around at all times. But I do think that the back end is the area of Miami's defense that they need the most improvement, because they were a pretty stout run defense last year, but I thought they left more to be desired as a passing defense. So Hurricanes, I think their advantage on Friday night would be Tyler Van Dyke dropping back to pass medium to long distance throws from time to time and break in new targets with Will Mallory gone. So I do think that that's the Hurricanes' advantage against Brechen's 4-2-5 defense. But I mean, it was the top scoring defense in the MAC last year, so Miami's doing something right. And they were pretty offensively challenged in Brett Gabbert's offense, so the defense really carried them to 6 wins in bowl season.
Yep. Okay. And then, yeah, speaking of Brett Gabbert, just want to touch on him. I know we got off to a rough start here, but, I know he suffered an injury week 1. What's his offseason been like in camp, and what have you been hearing, heading up to the season?
Yeah, it was a non-throwing shoulder injury that he suffered last year in the opener against Kentucky, and the game was already decided. There were about 3 minutes left, so there were definitely some frustrations with that injury at the time. And he returned just to play 3 more games a year. I think he could have played more, but he decided to hold on to his red shirt that season. And Miami they had Avion Smith, who started 9 games last year, so they had somebody who was already building experience as a backup quarterback. Gabbert temporarily entered the transfer portal, as I referenced earlier, but he backed out of it after about 7 to 9 days and decided to run it back 1 year with the program. But he has a full slate of health now, and I think he flew under the radar all offseason. You were looking at those award watch lists, and the MAC quarterbacks that were appearing on them were Curtis Rourke from Ohio, DeQuan Finn from Toledo. But I feel like everyone forgot about Gabbert just because he was hurt last year. But in his sample size last year, he remained efficient. He threw 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. He had a pretty high completion rate. And I thought he managed his games that he played in pretty well, including his last start against Ohio, a team that participated in the MAC championship game. So I think Gabbert enters with a clean slate of health. And, well, there is going to be a target on his back in this game, especially with the comments about being the real Miami this week. But in his shoes and in his defense, what are you going to say there? I mean, you got to be the real Miami, and he wants to show it on Friday, September 1st, and he has a lot of confidence, and I think that speaks volumes to who he is as a quarterback. You got to have a confident quarterback out there.
Yeah, no, I respect it. I understand. Being a player out there, sometimes you gotta say things to get yourself riled up and get your own team riled up. So it's not necessarily to make Miami players, the real Miami players, upset. It's more so to give his guys that confidence. Like, hey, starting quarterback. I'm ready to go. I'm not afraid of these guys. You shouldn't be either. Too bad he gonna have to need a new chin scrap after the first quarter. It's gonna be a good game though. I'm excited to see both sides. The real Miami and you guys up north. I think we're on our end. We're trying to learn new systems and stuff. So we're gonna use guys out there, some practice dummies, but it's gonna be a good game. Fun to watch. Good tailgating. Not expected. But going on that point, what's your score prediction? I need to hear you.
Real quick, before you get into score prediction, let me ask you one question.
Yeah.
What do you guys' conditioning look like? Are these guys? Did they do anything extra to prepare for this South Florida humidity? It's about to pour down a lot of rain. By the time Friday hit, it's gonna be muggy down here, man. Are you guys concerned about conditioning at all?
I'm not sure how that'll factor in, and if it does, you sometimes see fatigue in these games in the 3rd and 4th quarters with this. But I'll say right here, I don't live in Ohio. I live in Texas. I'm used to humid football games in the city of Houston. So those are the conditions I'm used to watching games in. But for Miami, Ohio, I'm not sure exactly how that factors in. I'm trying to think when they played in the South before. I know a lot of the MAC Bowl games are in. They have games in Mobile. They played. Miami played in the Frisco Football Classic in Frisco, Texas, in 2021. So there's some experience playing in the South there, although it's not as extreme as Miami, I'd say.
Alrighty.
Yeah, they're gonna need a lot of water and pickle juice, because a cramping is gonna happen about 3rd or 4th quarter. To your point, it's very humid out here. So a little advice for you guys.
But one thing that I do think that they have advantage of was they were so injured last year that a lot of guys saw the field, and now they have more experience because of that. Like their starting left tackle, Sam Vaughn, went down in that Kentucky game, their opener, missed the whole season. Now they return the tackle that played in this place as a starter all last season, Will Jados, and they've returned their other tackle, Reed Holsky. So having injuries like Brett Gabbert getting hurt last year, Sam Vaughn getting hurt last year, one of their safeties, Eli Blakey, getting hurt, and having season-ending injuries, you bring in new guys and more depth. And they had a lot of continuity. They were not a team that had a lot of guys leave in the transfer portal. So having all those guys sustained, I think that's going to help with depth when you need it in situations like that where there's fatigue, there's conditioning issues. So I think Miami has that advantage. And that's just one advantage also of just retaining a coach for so long is you have fewer transfers. I mean, you see programs like Colorado, Charlotte, Kent State, who had coaching changes this offseason. Their whole teams are transfers right now. Yeah. That's not what Miami's like at all.
Yeah, let's get that score prediction, bro. What you got?
Okay. I put in my preview today.
Give me the upset, bro. I don't want no humility, man.
Yeah, let me hear this, bro.
Okay. Miami, Florida, 30. Miami, Ohio, 21. So I have the Redhawks covering the spread. How I think the game plays out is I say the Hurricanes get probably like a 14-0 lead and play ahead about the entire game. You'll see the Redhawks make a few mini comebacks, but never get there exactly. And maybe it's like 30-14 when they get their 21st point. But I do think that the Redhawks can move the ball, especially with Brett Gabbert back on offense. Because if you look at the difference in what this team is like with Gabbert and without Gabbert, last year they were a bottom 10 passing offense in the country. In 2021, when Gabbert played every single game, they were the 21st best passing offense in the country. It is night and day with what we saw from Miami, Ohio last year. The run game, I don't think it'll be good. I think Miami Hurricanes have the pieces up front, guys like Leonard Taylor, who are just going to stifle the run game. And
right.
I mean, even though the Redhawks have an experienced offensive line, I don't really trust the offensive line too much. They averaged under 4 yards per carry last year. They ranked in the bottom 25 in sacks allowed with more than 2.9 per game. So I do think that advantage Hurricanes up in the trenches, and that's going to force Miami, Ohio into a lot of third and long situations, having to pass for a lot of the game. Now, Gabbert can do that, but it's going to be varying levels of success. So I think 21 points is probably a fair amount that the Redhawks can get. And then for the Hurricanes, Tyler Van Dyke, I think, can dice up that secondary there, breaking in one new cornerback spot in place of John Saunders Jr., their all-MAC cornerback who transferred last year. I don't know who's going to emerge as that Hurricanes' number one receiving threat. There's options. Tyler Harrell arrives as a transfer. So who's going to replace Will Mallory? Is it going to be Oregon transfer that Cristobal brought with him? So I have some questions on who's going to step up for the Hurricanes there, but I do think that they get the job in the passing game, and that is how they beat the Redhawks 30-21.
Steve, I was going to lie. I was ready to lie with Miami, Ohio, but you didn't give me a lot of room to work with here, bro. You know, I was ready to predict the upset, but you gave me.
Yeah, I was confused.
There's no upset, man. He's smart.
Okay. The last time Miami, Ohio won a non-conference FBS game, so excluding their bowl game, I'm going to look this up, but I want to say it was 2011 versus Army, was the last time they beat an FBS team in non-conference play, excluding bowl season.
Army?
Yes. October 8th, 2011 against Army was the last time. So they usually win their FCS game in non-conference play, and then they'll lose their 3 other games. So it's a 1-3 start. But they do well in MAC play every year. They've had a 500 or better record in MAC play every year since 2016. So they've done well in conference play, but they usually drop a few games toward the beginning of the season. So this is probably going to be a loss for the Redhawks given their history, but I think that they can fight tough with the Hurricanes in this one, and they've provided some scares in the past.
Yeah. I'm going to just let you know the first maybe 5-10 minutes of the game is going to probably be the most exciting part for you. After that, you're just going to get with the flow and just kind of, just roll over. So,
go to the bar, bro. They got
the
bar there.
What are the options?
I want you to have a good time, man. It's a fun time at Hard Rock. Let me tell you.
What are the recommendations near Hard Rock Stadium? I mean, I get in there. I go to UCF Thursday, then I fly into Fort Lauderdale pretty cheap Friday morning, and I have the whole day. around Hard Rock, what are some of the recommendations? What should I check out in the area?
I'm gonna whisper to
Office.
you the West Tailgate when you get to the game.
Okay.
Yeah. Pull up to the West Tailgate. My man gonna be out there kicking it, shooting some content and vibing.
Might not make it in the game.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
it's a vibe. Hey, Hard Rock Casino, they got a few nightclubs out there. If you're into gambling, it's a nice vibe. They redid it. It's a big guitar. You can't miss it. Las Olas is not that far. You can go downtown. A lot of vibes. Right there on the ocean. You can catch. What you got? Rock Bar there. A lot of few vibes, man. Cheeks everywhere. Beautiful women everywhere. It's South Florida, bro. Make sure you hang out.
Yeah, sounds like a good time there. I've been excited to go to this stadium for a while. NFL stadium too. I've never
It's
seen
beautiful.
Miami Hurricanes play, and what better matchup than Miami versus Miami, which has already become a rivalry. Did you guys see that diss track that guy released?
Yeah. That's our man,
Dropped
Coop.
it.
Yeah.
I'm happy you dropped it, man. We gotta get some energy over here, man. We're riding the high horse that we're better than Miami High. Now forget that, man. Let's talk some smack, man. Let's get this game going, man. You guys think
Sure.
it's a rivalry? We're gonna show you.
It's gonna be a crazy game, man. I'm praying that you guys can find the inner spirit of Middle Tennessee State, and squeeze out an upset. But it's
Oh,
not sounding like it.
they were throwing like 90-yard bombs out of the end zone last year. That game was crazy. It's always when they play. That's a CUSA thing though. Louisiana
Yeah.
Tech, FIU, Middle
Yeah,
Tennessee.
yeah.
That's a CUSA thing. I mean, Miami, Ohio is not a member of the CUSA. And I did misspeak earlier. Is they did beat Northwestern last year, so they broke that streak last year, the
Oh,
2011 the non-conference streak. But that did last for a while. Just know that they don't win too many non-conference games.
got you. All right, man. We appreciate you for hanging out with us, Steve. Have fun down at Hard Rock. Maybe we'll run into you. We'll see what's up.
Thanks, appreciate it. Anytime.
All
Have
right,
a
safe
good one.
travels, my guy. All right, we gotta get our Miami predictions in. Then we're gonna talk some LSU versus Florida State with our LSU guy. What you got? What you got score wise? I want to start with Kenny. Kenny been giving out some egregious scores. He gave me 3
I wish
points.
I wish I would have. I wish I looked at my picks today that I sent in to Logan. So I don't know really. I'm just this one of these games where I'm just curious to see, truthfully,
What they got?
have each team got better from last year. You know what I mean? Like I felt
So, my
bad for
team?
both teams. I felt bad for Miami last year. With all the ups and downs and stuff like that. So I can only hope, being a Florida boy, that they do what they do first game. You know what I mean? I would not like to see that upset, as you would, Silk.
I don't want to see it, but I just know what the timeline will be like if it was to happen.
Oh man,
it'll
hey,
be
the internet
insane on
already
Twitter.
undefeated. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think AR might just stop doing a podcast if that happened.
We lose the Miami Ohio. I promise you don't need a new co-host.
No,
I
yeah.
will disappear from media. I'm done. I can't do it. My Twitter timeline gonna be so crazy. I'm gonna have to leave, bro. I'm gonna have to
What are
leave.
you hearing? We got to talk. I want to talk a little bit Miami before we get my man Jace on to talk some LSU. So a little bit of Miami. What are you hearing? Some news came out this week. Shout out to Barry Jackson, always leaking Miami information. I appreciate that guy. But what are you hearing from Tyler Van Dyke health wise? They say he
So
banged up
yeah,
his finger.
same thing. It was news to me when I saw it. I didn't really hear about it, and no one really spoke about it. Guys on the team, it might have been something just minor. Guys get banged up all the time. We're playing Miami, Ohio. Let's be real. There's no point in really sending out QB1, in a warm up game, with risk that he could furthermore, injure that finger if it's really injured. Two, we got Texas A&M, following up week 2. I think that's a more important game, for us. So I'm not too big on it.
No, I don't think y'all could trout Ja'Carry Brown out there and get a W. I'm gonna be honest with
I
you. I
like.
think
I
y'all
think Emory Williams. I think Emory.
Emory's
Williams,
okay.
I think he gets out there in the field. I mean, I seen him spin it in person. The kid is nice. So I think he's gonna get some snaps out there. He's gonna throw it around a little bit. He's gonna look good. So
Already.
38-17, by the way. I like us. We're gonna put us some points. We got a lot to prove on the offense side of the ball. We're gonna take shots deep. We're gonna run the ball. We're gonna control the game. Defense, new system. Like I said, game 1, you're probably gonna give up some points, a couple of mental mistakes, things of that nature. Probably going to happen relatively early in the game, and probably at the very end, they're going to probably score, a little late cupcake touchdown type of thing. But, I think we're going to dominate from start to finish.
Hmm.
Just we have a lot of young guys out there halfway in the game, so, it might stay a little close, but, in the end, we're going to pull away.
I need Miami, Ohio to pull this out, but I don't think they do it.
They're not built like that.
Event, they
They're not
definitely
built.
not built like that. My guy Steve ain't give me much to work with. I was ready to hype this up a little bit, but if Tyler Van Dyke can't go, I think it becomes a real battle and a real game. I like that the defense returns like most of their players. That linebacker sounds like a good leader. He's a tackling machine. You got a veteran quarterback. You're on the road. They feeling good. I know they got to be watching some Middle Tennessee State, highlights and whatnot. So I like the confidence level of them getting down there, but they're gonna need, to come out fire hot like Middle Tennessee State did. They can't come out flat. The humidity and all that's gonna get to them. But I got Miami winning this one.
Listen,
Give me.
even FAMU comes out talking and gets smacked upside the head, so this ain't nothing new.
You guys struggled offensive last year like pretty bad, bro. So I got to see it. I'm not gonna go to the 30s. Give me 24-17. I think it's still a close one. I think you guys win by a touchdown. But I got to see that Miami offense cross the 50 at least regularly.
24-17. Oh my God. See, that's what
Yeah,
happens when
bro.
you lose to Middle Tennessee State. You start getting takes like this. What? You would think
Yeah,
we
I
scored
gotta see the
42.
offense was abysmal last year, bro. Like I gotta see it. That
Listen,
He got a
offense
point.
was terrible.
AR, he got a point. You just gotta get at least they at least got to get 2 or 3 games under their belt before.
but I'm gonna give you some though. So this is the thing. What like players are so like iffy when it comes to coordinators and game plan is once players buy into that game plan, they're all in. But we get players that don't really like the philosophy and what the coach trying to bring, you know that
Right.
from camp. And they kind of go through the motions. And you can tell early on in the season, we're struggling against just, some of the cupcake teams are kind of, struggling a little bit, getting stopped on 3rd and 1, power plays, stuff like that. But I think it's a newfound energy, man. And I think back to when Coach Rick first came to UM my freshman year, he came with a philosophy. We went 9-4. Didn't really like that season, whatever the case may be. Next year, we buy in, we go undefeated, ranked number 2 in the nation. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a quick culture shift for the
Yeah.
positive. I like us
You,
on offense, man.
you guys need that culture shift and that positivity
Mhm.
early in the season. Uh,
No
one
cancers.
Yeah. Hey, y'all smash that like button. We're gonna move on to our Florida State coverage with my man Jace LeJeune. Y'all smash that like button. It don't cost nothing to show love. We got 137 people in here vibing. Smash that like button. It helps us with the algorithms and climbing that and getting us trending and all of that, man. It's the roll up. It's the vibes. We got Jace LeJeune
How's it going, guys?
vibing, man. Welcome back to the roll up. We had you last year for the Florida State, LSU matchup.
Yeah,
From
How'd that
Gridiron.
go?
didn't go
It
so
didn't go.
well from our side of things last year, as Kenny
No, I'm,
can
I'm
probably
saying
relate
I'm
to it.
saying pregame. How'd that go?
Oh, pregame. So, yeah.
Move
So
move your move
basically,
your
looking
camera
at
down a little bit, Jace. Move your camera down a little. There you
okay.
go. There you go.
Yeah,
Perfect.
I've been having some difficulties, but I think we're straightening them out. So,
All good.
yep. So, basically, what was the question? I'm sorry.
Said how'd it go last year for you?
Oh, yeah, not so well. Not so well. It was a great experience, the Superdome to open the season up, pregame and everything. But really, LSU just started off the game pretty slowly, and you can tell that this is a team that was trying to figure things out on the fly, especially at the very beginning, with a new quarterback and a new offensive line. Really a new head coach, new offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator. You can just tell that this was a team as the game was going on was really trying to figure things out. Late they got things clicking obviously late in the game with Jane Daniels threw a touchdown pass to Jeray Jenkins, but it was pretty sloppy for the most part. There were some opportunities there on offense to get again in the red zone and to score some points, score some touchdowns. Special teams, that was really a big headline from last
Mm-hmm.
year. There was a missed field goal, a blocked field goal to the blocked extra point, Jared Verse as well. And then really the muff punts. That was really the biggest thing too. LSU was really fortunate to even have a chance at the very end. As Jane Daniels connected with Jeray Jenkins in the back of the end zone. Brian Kelly decided to kick the extra point, and the extra point was blocked. So and that's pretty much how the game went. Florida State really outplayed LSU. LSU just couldn't get off the field on third down. Jordan Travis was really extending plays with his feet and escaping sacks. LSU just could not bring him down. LSU really held their own the first and second down. But third down, really, Travis was really killing LSU's secondary and LSU's defense. And it also didn't help with Mason Smith going down, too, on the very first drive. And on a fluke play, too, like of him celebrating after the play as well. So it was just a lot of weird things really happening in that game. To have the game in it and a blocked extra point after LSU drove 99 yards just to get in that position. It was a game full of ups and downs, as you can say, really from both teams. Because when we look at the Florida State side of things, really Florida State thought they had the game won after Malik Neighbors fumbled the football, and then Florida State fumbles the football right back, gives LSU an opportunity. So it was definitely a weird game, a lot of voodoo going on in New Orleans.
Jace, I'm gonna give you a stat.
All right, Kenny.
That was my first road game ever doing as a fan. I went to New
Okay.
Orleans for the first time, so I'm 1-0, and I'm going to Orlando. So you tell me what that make us. But hey, what you were saying, we walked back to the hotel after that fumble just to escape the crowd and all that, and
Same
literally we was walking, and we looking at it was a restaurant closed, and I said, hey babe, stop real quick. So we stopped and looked in the restaurant, and these fuckers was coming back. So we
yeah.
it's me and my girl in a mosh pit of like it's LSU fans all around. And we, like I said, we right by Bourbon Street where we stayed at the Holiday Inn, and we like looking at this game, and when it came down to the kick, it had to be no lie, 300 LSU fans around, like just everybody just standing still. And me and her, the only Florida State people. And when they blocked that kick, I broke character. I said, fuck yeah, all that. And I'm so thankful that LSU fans aren't like Gator fans and stuff like that, because I ain't get jumped. I ain't get.
I seen some
I was getting
ones.
high fives, like good game, man. That was a good game, and
You ran into some good ones then, because I seen some rowdy ones, bro. Like I seen
there's some rowdy ones.
Yeah, man. Our producer, my old business partner got beat up out there by some LSU fans, man.
They got beat up.
Yeah, bro.
In
like
Baton Rouge, though.
No, in New Orleans. I was at the game. I left around the same time you did. My brother's a Florida State fan. He's producing the show right now. We left right after the fumble as well, trying to beat the crowd. We had a Sunday show to do, after show, so we trying to get back to the hotel as well. But no, LSU fans, even at the tailgating, dog, they rowdy. They were not. They was with the shits a little bit, Kenny.
So I'm gonna see something.
Oh yeah,
you might.
They're gonna make the travel. They'll make the travel for sure.
Nah, so Jace, I only got a few questions, and I like to keep it simple.
Yeah.
What is it?
I'd rather keep it simple. I'm not used to be on the other end answering.
I ain't gonna beat you up with no statistics and whatnot, but hey, in simple terms, what is it gonna take for y'all to beat us, besides the quarterback play?
Yeah. Really, if you look at both, and it's funny because Brian Kelly met with us a couple days ago on Monday, and he just said, like, mirroring both teams, if you look at LSU and Florida State and put them in the mirror, I mean, they pretty much reflect each other in a lot of different ways. I mean, they both have quarterbacks that are really, under the radar when it comes to like the Heisman coming up. Both quarterbacks expect to have big seasons. Both can make plays with their legs, and their arm can extend plays. Both teams have a deep running back rotation. Both teams have really plenty of talent at the receiver position. And you look at the defensive side of the football, both teams have just like game changer. Verse for Florida State, and Perkins at LSU. So, I mean, you just look at both teams. They both hit the transfer portal pretty hard. So you look at both teams, it's pretty similar if you put them in the mirror. But what's going to take to win this game is what played LSU really last year in a 1-point loss. It was special teams. And really, Malik Neighbors muffing a couple of punts. And then, Ramos missing a field goal, a blocked extra point, obviously. So Really, LSU really struggled in that department, and if LSU needs to come out with a win, they're going to have to make those plays on special teams and not have fumbles, not have turnovers, not give an explosive offense like Florida State any more room to really capitalize on those opportunities. So, as far as keys of the game, I would have to say that's really a big one to watch out to see how much improved LSU is really in that area.
Yeah, and I know a couple of my keys were obviously the quarterback play. Who makes the less mistakes is going to win the game, and you got a savvy vet in Jordan Travis who, he can make a play out of no play. So I know a big key is when I looked at you guys' third down efficiency, you guys struggle in a sense, and I think that a guy like Adam Fuller will take a hold of that and send some blitzes your way. How do you feel about you guys' third down rate versus last year versus this year?
Yeah, third down rate, and that was really passing down. So it was most
Mm-hmm.
likely, with LSU struggling early in the year, because Jaden Daniels, I mean, especially early in the year, it was really
Yeah.
a struggle. With him trying to connect those receivers, trying to have trust in his receivers, having trust in his O line. Because I mean, if you can recall in the Florida State game, if his number one receiver was not open, he took off and
Yeah.
ran.
Yeah.
Because I mean, this shows off the wheels and everything, but really it's just trust in receivers, and it grew. The Florida game last year, you can tell that Jaden took a
Hey,
step
man.
in that area. We had a pretty good 3 game stretch, right, with Florida, Ole Miss, and Alabama. That's probably as good of a 3 game stretch I've ever seen from a quarterback. But really early in
Yeah.
the season, it was just having trust in those receivers and trusting to throw the football down the field. So it was really trust that the lack of trust early in the year really played them in a lot of third down situations. And really, they've focused a whole lot with that with Jaden Daniels this offseason. They worked with Jaden. We were going through his progressions, going through his second progression, going through his third progression. And you can tell that he's been working on a lot of that during the offseason.
Yeah. No, and that's like I said, that's one of the things I'm not going to say former receiver because that's in my blood. As a receiver,
Right.
that's one of the things that you do look forward to on third downs is having options, and that's one of the things that I did notice. His efficiency goes down, the interception goes up. So I think that if we create some havoc, we will. It's a few keys to the game. It's quarterback play. It's how they bounce back from the havoc play, and as you see, Jordan Travis is a squirmy guy. I'm looking forward to seeing because at the end of the day, I like seeing guys progressing in the game. So if Jaden Daniels do his thing, he do his thing. I'll be proud of him. But in a sense, I do want to know: do you guys have a key? Do you have an answer for verse?
Yeah. So we feel. I mean, well, LSU.
Truthfully.
Yeah. Truthfully, LSU's in a
Hold
much
on, hold
better
on. You look
position.
you look like the guy from what's the TV show where he should like have his face at the fence. What's his name? Home Improvement.
Home improvement.
Yeah, that's what you look like a little bit there, bro. There you go. Yeah, that's perfect, bro.
I got you. Yeah, that's perfect. So yeah, LSU feels better in that aspect than last year
Now you're a little low
because.
on the volume. I'm sorry.
Okay, is this
There you
good?
go. That
Yeah, that's
perfect,
better.
perfect. There you go.
Okay, perfect. So LSU really feels better in that aspect when going off against like a guy like Verse, because you have a guy in Will Campbell at left tackle, and you have a guy at right tackle in Emory Jones. Both those guys did something that's not really expected to do in the SEC, and that is to start your freshman year. And both of them did it at a pretty high level. I mean, Will Anderson was going up against Will Campbell, and Will Campbell pretty much held his own, against them. So, what they did last year, you're probably not going to ever really see that again. I mean, it's not often you just throw 2 freshmen into the fire, through
Yeah.
last year, but they held their own really well. And for Jared Verse, it's like that's the matchup. If you go and kind of watch off the ball, especially when Verse goes against those tackles, whether it's Emory or Will Campbell, that's going to be like 2 first-round picks, like Will Campbell and Verse. Those are 2 first-round picks going at it, future first-round picks. So obviously, who comes out the better of that matchup could be a huge key. But LSU, they can hold their own, especially better in this situation this year compared to last year, because LSU, they were doing a lot of mixing and matching on the offensive line. They didn't really know who they really had entering
Yeah.
that game. So going to this year, it's LSU feels a lot more comfortable with their starting five. It's pretty much the starting five they had last year. All pretty much new starters at the beginning of the year. So LSU is going to be feeling more comfortable in that situation than last season.
Real quick on Campbell, you guys gave him the honorary, like a weird honorary name, legendary 7. So he's not gonna actually wear the offense. I thought it would have been cool if he would have wore it at offensive tackle, but he's not gonna wear. You guys gave him a patch or something like that. What's your opinion on him getting that number 7 and Brian Kelly's new twist on the culture?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of fans have been kind of mixed on it because LSU has used to produce number 7s at the skill positions. I mean, you just see it every year, whether it was Patrick Peterson, Tyrann Mathieu, Leonard Fournette. It goes on and on. Everybody is used to either a defensive back or a skill position player. So it was a unique take by Brian Kelly. I do get where he's coming from because he wants to establish a culture. And knowing Brian Kelly and Notre Dame and his background in Notre Dame, he prides himself in his offensive line and his tight ends playing physical football. And he wants to bring that back to LSU. And given the number 7 to Will Campbell, watching him at fall camp is pretty amazing because I don't think Will Campbell has really lost a rep in practice. And a lot of times it goes up against Harold Perkins. So, and a lot of times he shuts him down, which is very impressive to see. But if you have to give it to your best player from Louisiana, it's Will Campbell. Like if an injury happens, like with Will Campbell, he is definitely their most irreplaceable player when it comes down to it. But he's just a guy that you cannot replace if he goes down. It pretty much puts a domino effect to his offensive line. So Will Campbell was definitely deserving of it. I do like that he's going to get the honor of wearing number 7, and it's a really good recruiting tactic too for Kelly because he can use this as like recruiting some of the best offensive linemen in the country, telling them that hey, number 7 can go to an offensive lineman. So that's going to be a definitely big recruiting tactic too when it comes down to it. But Will Campbell, even though he's not going to touch the football, obviously nobody's going to have a lot of eyes on him. Everybody's going to be focusing on Jaden Daniels and watching him and watching the receivers with the football. But when it comes down to their most valuable player on offense, it probably has to be Will Campbell.
Okay. Were there any shocks to the depth chart release from you guys?
So Brian Kelly has given his thoughts on the depth chart, and basically he's saying that we haven't gotten a depth chart. So he hasn't really released a depth chart. But going to practice, and Brian Kelly really gives us a lot of access to practice, and which LSU hasn't really given a lot of prior to Kelly. With Coach Orgeron and Les Miles prior to him. But basically, the depth chart hasn't been released, but we pretty much know who a lot of the starters are going to be, especially the quarterback, the offensive line, who the starters are going to be. Tight end Mason Taylor with the freshman season he had last year. Really, the question marks go as far as the depth chart is really concerned is 2 positions, and it's running back because LSU just has so many running backs. You got about 8 of them that are really good. But I mean, it's not going to really matter if it's really the first start because they're going to be rotating a lot. It's going to be a running back by committee, just like you really saw with the Les Miles teams at LSU in the mid 2010s. But and also in the secondary. See, we got a picture of who will be in the back half of the defense. You're going to have Major Burns who is back. You have Greg Brooks who's going to play nickel. Those are really the 2 veterans in the back end. But you also have a guy like a couple transfers too, like Zy Alexander, who's actually handled himself pretty well. He's a transfer from Southeastern Louisiana University. Had a really good fall scrimmage and had to cover Malik Neighbors a lot. And really, as far as receivers around the country, there's few better than Malik Neighbors. He's been really a beast in practice. But you have Andre Sam. He's another transfer. He's actually on the back half of the defense at safety as well. He comes in from McNeese State. And really the biggest question mark, Sage Ryan is also getting a lot of looks at outside corner. which is very unique because Sage has always played safety or nickel. He's never played outside corner, and he's
Yeah.
starting in the first game. So really, the secondary, everybody's going to be paying attention to that because there are a lot of question marks. That's where comes the most question marks about this team is the back end of the defense. So that's going to be definitely something to take a look at for Sunday night.
Yeah, and like to your point, it's a first game. It's a top 10 matchup. Usually, you come in with a cupcake first game just to fill out if you got the right pieces. So I think this game will be very low scoring, and I think it comes down to defense, who can contain who. Because we both got explosive players on offense. I know for sure we got some X factors who haven't been getting talked about, who kind of shocked the no nation with the depth chart.
Give us some X factors. Who you got?
I definitely have Destin Hill is an X factor. Keon Coleman will emerge in the Seminole gear. I know he has been proven in his previous team, but I think he has a coming out game against LSU as well. So
those are really good picks, Kenny, because they're both Louisiana guys. And so they're gonna want to go at LSU.
Mm-hmm. And I did see No Nation was shocked at the depth chart in a sense, but I really wasn't because obviously I know good receiver play. But when it comes down to the game, I think it's a low scoring game. I think it's going to be a bang bang matchup. So it's going to come down to quarterbacks who make the less mistakes, in my honest opinion.
Yeah, very good.
So my predicted score would be 24-14.
You jumped out early with that prediction. I like that 24-14 score. Real quick, I think my keys to this game, I think the matchups between Verse, Jordan Travis, Harold Perkins, Jordan Travis, and Verse and Jaden Daniels is the matchup that's going to decide this game, in my opinion. Both of those quarterbacks leave the pocket and cause chaos. So being able to keep them in the pocket is going to be key. We'll see if Campbell could keep Verse in check. But I think that's the key matchup. What do you think about that, Jace?
Yeah, I agree. That's definitely a key matchup that everybody's looking at. And looking at LSU side of things, obviously a big headliner is Mason Smith being suspended for the first game and how much of an impact he can really put on the game. Brian Kelly even said, you can't really – last year you're able to shift one side or the other side without Smith. But with him in the game, you can't do that. But with him being out, obviously it's a factor. But they do have good depth behind Mason Smith. The only thing is, they're going to be able to – they can stop the run. These are, very capable guys behind Mason Smith. And they're actually more – they're deeper than they were last year at the position. The problem is that you just can't replace a game record like Mason Smith. And – Harold Perkins, as far as that's going to be a big key to see how Matt House, the defensive coordinator, uses him because you're not going to have Mason Smith that help balance that. So if you're Matt House, you're going to have to move around Harold Perkins a little bit more than what you probably would have seen him move around if he wasn't there. And Harold Perkins was not in – he didn't play against Florida State last year. He really didn't play until about – Mississippi State, Tennessee is when we started to see more of him and what he can do. But containing Jordan Travis, and seeing what Perkins does as a pass rusher is going to be obviously key because LSU, as you recall, they've had trouble bringing down Jordan Travis a lot last year. They had a chance to sack him, and they had him a couple of times, and he's just able to make a play, get out of it. And
us too, Jason.
Yep.
We had him too.
Yeah, he's just that good. So that matchup to see, first of all, if Harold Perkins can get there in the backfield, have opportunities to bring Travis down, and then second for Perkins to actually bring him down. So that's just going to be really the key matchup when you look at that side, and you're going to need that pass rush because I feel like one of the advantages Florida State has on LSU is their receivers against LSU secondary because it's just unknown. And really the depth is not really there yet in the secondary for LSU. So as the much pressure you can bring on Jordan Travis and get him in the backfield is going to help that defense even more. So as far as key player, I talked about Will Campbell on the offensive side of the football and trying to slow down Jerry Verse, but defensively, it has to be Harold Perkins. He has to be that guy, like he was against Alabama, like he was against Arkansas.
Okay.
Yeah. What you got for the score, Jace? Break us down with the score.
Oh yeah. So as far as the score is concerned, I'm leaning like the score. The numbers are the same. It's just the other way around. I have LSU winning about a 27-17 type of football game, and really because LSU is just so motivated for this game. I mean, you have to think a whole year about letting that one slip away against Florida State. So I think LSU is going to really come and they're going to really want this one. And this is just a more veteran team. This you can look at really up and down the depth chart with especially on the offensive side of the football. Jane Daniels comes back. He's another year in the system, another year with the same OC and Mike Denbrock. The offensive line is the same. The receivers, the prima starting receivers are coming back. Mason Taylor at tight end. And defensively, we talk a whole lot about Harold Perkins, but keep an eye on Omar Spates. And he's going to be a really good counterpart, like a 1-2 punch to Harold Perkins, and that's going to be really fun to watch. So that could really free up a lot of opportunities for Harold Perkins to let loose and run loose. And LSU's got some very talented players on the defensive line too. And I feel like if they get enough pressure and Harold Perkins comes an impact, maybe the advantage of Florida State at the receiver position is going to be diminished a little bit if they can get pressure. That's a big thing. But I like LSU's offense. They've been really scary in fall camp. They've really been clicking a lot. Obviously, it's a different situation when you actually play in a live environment, especially against a top 10 team in Florida State in Orlando in a primetime game. The whole nation's watching this game. But I really like LSU. A lot of familiarity and going to another year. A lot of veteran players, same OC, same DC, same head coach. And really, despite all of that last year, all the problems they had in that game, LSU was really 2 points away from winning that football game. Blocked extra point away from sending it to overtime. So I really like LSU in this one. But it should be a very fun game, very exciting game.
It should be one of the good ones to start off this week. We got a good layout for the Big Three, man. We're going Thursday, Friday, then Sunday. It should be eventful.
Oh yeah, it's going to be very eventful as it always is in a football state like Florida, with Florida, Miami, and Florida State, and to have that game, especially how it was a classic game last year in the first game of the season. It should be another fun one, a top 10 matchup. I certainly believe that the loser of this game is definitely not out of the picture. Obviously, there's much less room for error, if you come out as a loser of this game. But really, both these two teams, the way that they're built, the way they're stacked up, the way they address their needs, the transfer portal, both LSU and Florida State will be a major player in their conference by the end of the season.
Already.
I agree.
Hey, we appreciate you for hanging out with us, Jace. We'll get the rest of our predictions off, and then we're going to ride off into the abyss.
I appreciate it, guys. Sorry for the technical difficulties and everything, but I appreciate it.
It's all love. Tell the people where they can find you at, Jace.
Yes, so they can find us at gridironfootballusa.com. So it's gridironfootballusa.com is the website. We'll have some LSU Florida State previews coming up on Thursday. We'll have a preview up on our website. But to keep up with everything going on with us, go gridironfootballusa.com. And if you want to follow me on, I guess, X, I'm still got to get used to saying that, not Twitter anymore, at Jace LeJeune. So you can follow me on my Twitter account there.
All right, Jace, I appreciate you for hanging out with us, man. Have a good weekend.
Hey, y'all, too. Y'all enjoy the football weekend. Football's back, so you got to love it.
Jace.
Man, I'm in love. It's time to play the games, Jace.
Absolutely. Y'all have a good night. Thanks for having me on.
All right.
Yeah.
One time for my man, Jace. What you got, Ahmad? Give me your scores. His score prediction for Florida State LSU.
All right. So I think it's going to be a close one. I think it's going to be high scoring. It's going to be electric. I think both offenses are going to be making plays. You're going to see a lot of sports center, caliber plays on there. So I'm going with 34-31 FSU. I think it's going to come down to a field goal. I think both quarterbacks are hungry. LSU is hungry, but let's not get it twisted. Florida State's coming to play. They see a championship or playoff in their future this season. So I think both teams gonna come out swinging. But I like Jordan Travis, Palm Beach guy. I got to root for him. I got to pull for him.
Yeah, I like Palm Beach guys, but I ain't got to root for them. Not on this one. Give me 24-27 LSU. I think a field goal wins it. At the end, it's gonna be a good game. Harold Perkins is just gonna be a lot to deal with, in my opinion. Florida State, I want to see what them weapons look like, but I don't know what they're gonna do in that secondary. Neighbors could get busy. I don't know who could check him. Jaden Daniels got hot last year. He's not the quarterback that played game one last year. My Florida Gators got to see that a little bit. But it's gonna be a good game. It could go either way, but I got to go with the LSU Tigers.
I kind of saw that.
Kenny
I
gave me
kind of
three.
saw that
You gave me
coming.
3 points, bro.
I kind of saw that coming. Look,
I'm not
I
giving
saw
you
that coming.
I'm not giving you no win. You gave me 3 points. I started to give you 3 points back, but I said, no, I got
Nah. We too. Hey, that'll be inaccurate.
Nah, you try my offense with the 3 points, man. It's gonna be excited. So Monday we're gonna do same energy. Monday it'll be Monday. We do it last year. We called it no cap. The previous Big Three roll up, we called it Same Energy Sunday. We're going back to that branding of Same Energy Sunday. So Monday morning, Labor Day, we're gonna come chopping it up. Y'all pull back up. I appreciate everybody that's still hanging out with us, man. We got 123 still vibing with us. Y'all smash that like button while y'all here. If you haven't smashed it yet, it don't cost nothing to show love, man. We about to have a big fun season. Another great show. Show number 2. Had a great time. Both of these guys as well. If you're at the games, make sure y'all find these boys, man, because we're going to have, our visual team out there, videographers. These guys going to be shooting vlogs down in Miami on Friday. And then Kenny got a twofer. He's going to be doing some day shenanigans, party,
Golfing.
golfing. You got a lot going on, dog, but we're going to capture it. He's going to be at the game tailgating on Sunday. So if you can find these guys, find them because you can make the visuals. But we're going to kick it. Big content on the way. We hanging out a little bit, man. You guys got any shout outs or anything like that before we get out of here? What's up with it?
Hey man,
Yeah.
shout out to Canes Nation, man. We the best. We the best in the business.
He don't believe that. He don't believe that yet, Silk. Silk, I ain't feel that, Silk.
You feel it?
He ain't believe that. Look, he ain't
sell
believe
it.
that.
You know what I do believe? Everybody out here, man. Select College Hunks when you get a chance, man. College Hunks, best moving and junk company, franchise business in the United States.
Yeah, if you got to move something, you in South Florida, make sure y'all hit up Ahmad, man, with the college hunks. I don't know if y'all boys want hunks moving y'all furniture. Y'all ain't got college babe movers. You ain't got no hottie movers yet.
You got 2 options. You got the College Hunks, or you got the guy downstairs at the corner store.
Home Depot, pick up you a few people. Yeah. Shout out to college hunks, man. Y'all make sure y'all support my man Ahmad. All right, make sure y'all support the Roll Up Network, man. Follow us on absolutely every platform: Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, whatever it may be. Find us, follow us. Big content on the way. It's the Roll Up, it's the vibes. We are out of here. Week 1. Year.